Chapter 3 Options November 7th at 1 a.m. Entry 46 Alex, Alejandro, David, Dylan, Z. Then there's Chase, Matt, and the really attractive, muscular Asian guy from school. Bracket. I think his name was Roman? And bracket. I know it's been a while since I've written in you, but it's been a break much needed. A lot has happened and much is still happening in my life, and I'm glad. I started a new job about a week ago. Last Monday, actually, on October 27th, I think. I actually like my job, and it's part-time, and I get to study and use the internet if I need to, and it's conveniently located right near all my classes. Bracket. That's all kind of the point of work study. End bracket. It's perfect. Except I'm really not allowed to use my phone publicly while working, but that's a small price to pay for such an almost completely perfect in every way job. I still see Z from time to time, so there's no loss there as far as he's concerned. He's still comfortable with me and still jerks in front of me when he feels like it, no big deal. Actually, last time he and Juju was here, he was practically jerking right on top of Juju. Bracket. I don't remember what I meant by this. They may have just been sitting very close or with one of their legs slung over the others. End bracket. And I borrowed my mom's car to drop him off at his girlfriend's. Not for him, but because I wanted to. I want a car. Sorta. The next time he was over, Z called and vented his emotions out all over Tessa, leaving her hurt and confused. Here are her final words, but Z didn't get to see them because he had left before she wrote them. Well, as it turns out, they didn't get saved, but it was something like, I am so confused. I don't know what you want to do. I love you, but you keep hurting me, so I don't know. Bye. I don't know. It was strange, but I understood it. I sort of yelled at him for venting on her in the way that he did. I told him I didn't like him playing with the emotions of others like that, and we had another one of our infamous talks. Bracket. Basically, me lecturing him on what he did and why it was wrong. But this was a good one. A good talk, I think. End bracket. Each time we have one, we both become a little wiser. Nevertheless, I dropped him off at home and neglected to pick him up for school the following day, despite the fact that he had explicitly asked me to. The reason was because I'd hoped him missing my presence would help him to remember what I had told him the night before. Something like, and I quote, "Don't let fear of being alone control your actions. If something's worth it, then fight for it, but if it's not, then let him know. You'll always have a reason to fight, but the question is it worth it?" And I told him that, in the future, and if necessary, he could vent to me. Not on me or at me like he did with Tessa the other night, if he needed to. But this isn't about him solely, so I'm moving on. The names that I mentioned at the beginning: Alex, Alejandro, David, Dylan, Z, and then there's Chase, Matt, and Roman. These are guys that I've been attracted to. But more than that, they're guys that show some type of promise for more than just a one-night stand type of encounter. Mostly. Alex. I've only chatted with him on AIM thus far. We've talked a bit on MySpace as well, which is where I met him initially. He seems pretty cool. He's a Sagittarius. Also, he's cute and slender. Just my type. Bracket. Correction, just one of my types. End bracket. I enjoy talking with him, and he thinks I'm the quote-unquote coolest person he knows. I kid you not. He also thinks I'm cute, and when he says it, I blush a little on the inside, rolling on the moon laughing. Oh yeah, currently he's 17. Kinda forgot to mention that part. And he's dating a Scorpio as I write this journal entry. Though they argue a lot. Big surprise. I'd like him to be happy with his current boyfriend. Bracket. I'm just that type of guy. LOL. End bracket. But dating him myself has crossed my mind. Though my hands are tied as long as he's with Mr. Scorpio. Bracket. Morally, yes. But in reality, not really. Though I did meet his Scorpion ex-boyfriend later on, and he, Joey, turned out to be a pretty cool guy. End bracket. I wouldn't want them to break up for my sake, just in case I met him and changed my mind. Which I've done occasionally. The mind changing, not the other part. Alejandro. This guy. I've chatted with him online in 2 separate sites before. I'm not sure where I first met him, but I had fun talking to him. He's an Aquarius and an interesting guy. Also, he's interested in similar things, if I recall correctly. I don't know why it's difficult finding gay or bi guys that like games and anime. Bracket, it was probably a lack of extrovertedness. End bracket. We had some chats. I pissed off Leo. I made a few acquaintances. I had 1.5 hookups. The one was a Gemini named Roland. The half was another Aquarius named Edward. I don't recall why it was a half though. But I started chatting with Alejandro and I don't regret it. I want to be friends with him, but I get the feeling that once we fool around, I don't know. Bracket. I think I was going to say that I wanted to get to know him, but I felt like it might end up as a one night stand. End bracket. But his studio, yes, he has a studio, I guess, is on North Main Street, which means that it's not too far from my house. He's also Puerto Rican. He speaks Spanish and watches Dragon Ball Z, if my memory serves me correctly. I had his MySpace, but I think he deleted it. He also likes to flirt with me. David. This guy was a disappointment. Libra, not because of anything he did, but more because of what he couldn't do. He lives in Massachusetts, you see, which makes getting together very difficult, especially since he doesn't have a car. That is a powerful shame because after meeting at platforms a few months ago, I really, really wanted to see him again. I think I really liked his body, what I could feel of it, his personality, what I could see of it, and his sensuality, what he could feel of me. I don't know, I just wanted to get to see him again and know him a little better, but it really didn't work out the way I would have liked it to. Ah well, maybe he'll surprise me one day. Oh yeah, he's Puerto Rican and Portuguese, but he doesn't speak Spanish, sadly. Dylan. This guy I just met tonight. Bracket. Online though, not in person. He sent a nice pic. He was pretty cute, and he actually seemed like an interesting person as well. His major is Spanish, and he likes Asians. He has a strong interest in Japanese culture also. I wonder what his sign could be. Sunglasses emoji? He gave me his name, and I do plan on talking with him again. It's funny because some people I get stimulate different senses with. This guy I get the mental joy stimulus sense. Bracket, the joyful feeling of being stimulated mentally, end bracket, but it lacks much sexual pull. Bracket, as if we're destined to be platonic friends, if anything, end bracket. Like in Aquarian to Aquarian, bracket, non-sexual, Vulcan mind meld, end bracket. I don't know. Of course I'm curious, bracket, about him sexually, end bracket, but it never crossed my mind as much as, I wonder how broad his mind is, quote unquote. P.S. He's been with an Asian before, rolling on the moon laughing. I'll have to ask him about it. Bracket. AZN is Asian, abbreviated. End bracket. Z. My Gemini, quote unquote, brother. His tale, along with the name of this entire file, sort of speaks for itself, and though I look at him more as a brother now, should he decide to change his heterosexual mind, I think I could still fall for him. But I'm hoping he doesn't do it anytime soon, especially not now that I have such exciting prospects around. Chase. The cute bouncer from the club. I know very little about him, but he's cute, friendly, and he has a tattoo on his right leg, I think. Also, I think I've caught him watching me dance sometimes, but I also think he has a boyfriend. I don't know his sign. Bracket. I think I later found out he was a Sagittarius or a Capricorn. Matt. Virgo. I met him one day at CCRI. Then the next night at the same club that I met Chase at. He's straight, quote unquote, but he doesn't mind one night stands with guys. And he was dating a girl named Sarah, but her family got involved and I don't know. Regardless, I was attracted to him for a little while, but if anything happened between us, it'd probably just be a one night stand at least. Friends with benefits at most, especially now that I've met some cool peoples. But I do enjoy going out to the club with him, and he was very cute in his tight little sailor outfit in Halloween, rolling on the moon laughing. I admit, I'm curious about him sexually, but I'd much rather have him as a clubbing buddy than ruin anything between us. But if I didn't have to ruin anything, then my curiosity, bracket, might get the better of me. Giggity. End bracket. Asian guy? Question mark, question mark, question mark. Bracket, Roman. End bracket. As much as I know about Chase, I know even less about this guy. I think he might be a friend of Billy's and he goes to CCRI with me. He's very attractive, muscular, toned, smooth, and has good Asian looks. I barely said more than a few words to him, the exception being the time I asked him about a survey from my psych class, in which he was attempting to be useful and very friendly. But I have no idea of his orientation. Bracket. I'm pretty sure he has or had a girlfriend. End bracket. In fact, the only reason I put the mysterious Asian guy here is because I question his orientation. I mean, sure, it was just one look, but sometimes it's all it takes. Bracket. I think what I meant by this was that I've personally noted that the signals exchanged between men for showing interest in each other are very subtle. In traditional masculine subculture, fondness is replaced by competition, which is more evidenced by cock-blocking each other, roughhousing, and or ignoring each other's feelings. But with sensitive, curious, straight guys, or closeted, discreet gay guys, or even heteroflexibles, a non-scientific term, the signals are quick and subtle. Roman gave off some of these subtler signals, but I never approached him about it. I was too shy to talk about my sexuality back then. End bracket. Basically, I was walking up the stairs in my muscle shirt, fresh from the gym, and my eyes caught his. He smiled, but it was the kind of smile that you give when you are forced to look away from something you were discreetly staring at. Bracket, or maybe it was just an awkward smile for other reasons. End bracket. Ever since then, I wondered how open-minded he was or might be, but I doubt, even if he was bi, flexible, open-minded, that the chance would ever come my way. Bracket. Lack of self-confidence much? Could you tell? End bracket. And that's most of the important ones for the time being. And now I must sleep, for I plan on hanging out with Alex later on. Bracket. Tomorrow or tonight or something. End bracket. He's not going to school for some reason. I hope I don't oversleep. Smiley face.